word. Hi, everybody. It's me, Andra Annette, and I'm here with Yana, Yaneva, and she's a fellow co-author in Unleasher with myself and a psychologist. And she really focuses on mental health and helping people with psychology, with behavior, mental health, anxiety, depression. So with everything that's really been going on the last 2 years, I wanted to really introduce you to her and see what she can share about what she does and her experiences. So please welcome Yana Yaneva. Hi, sweetie.
Hello, so good to be here. I should probably say good morning because where I am, it's kind of noon, but I believe for you, it's very bright and early.
Okay.
Right. So maybe to just share a little bit about myself and my story. So my journey started in my early teenage years, and I really fell in love with psychology and what psychology stands for. It's not just a science in regards to building models based on, examination of previous behaviors and trying to predict future behaviors, but it's the type of science that keeps evolving because humanity keeps evolving. And so it's constantly changing, and I find that really appealing and really interesting. And I remember when I was younger, I was reading this book every night before I drop off to sleep, and it was called Your Subconsciousness Can Do Anything. And it was authored by a really famous doctor, Morgan Scott Peck, who was working in the early 800 years. So this is when my journey started. I went into uni to study psychology, and I specialized in behavioral, cognitive, and social, occupational psychology, basically. And then during the years of COVID is when I was managing a team of people, because I'm also a people and talent specialist. And everyone around me, Andra, was struggling with mental health. It was literally a dead end with constant news that were coming, increasing numbers of death cases and so on. And so I started researching options and ways that I can potentially help my team. And I was very surprised that there was no flexibility around that. And it was either the local health support, which was basically participating in therapy group sessions of people between 5 and 10, which for me was not really acceptable for my team. Or the other option was to sign up with extremely expensive specialists and have numerous sessions, obviously, until you feel better. So this is basically when I decided that I'm going to do something myself. Build a product that is easily accessible, it's very flexible, it allows freedom, and it has the flexibility to be shaped by the person using it. So I've created a subscription box for women, and it's very, the price that I've put on that box is literally like a cup of coffee per day. Because I wanted everyone to be able to access that information. And then I started combining everything that I know from behavioral psychology. I'm using highly therapeutic journaling. It's something that I'm a big fan of, and I'm using myself every day, and I find it really helpful. It's something that helps people to really slow down, narrow the focus in specific experience, specific trauma, specific behaviors, and really dig deeper into those attitudes. And it can be used for anything. It could be used for, depression conditions. It could be used about planning. It could be used for messy mind, emotional anxiety, unstable emotional balance, and so on. And for me, therapeutic journaling, it's I mean, it's been around for ages. We can trace it back all the way from ancient Greece, for example, all the people who started the whole philosophy and psychology as a science, you know, Aristotle, Pluto, they have been using that. And then Mark Aurelius is one of the biggest names, and his actually journals have been called meditations, and they have been published now. So it's a very simple exercise, and I provide those journals that really provoke specific questions, really made you think in depth about your behaviors, actions, thoughts, and words that you use on a day-to-day life. I have built in that box also creative exercises, anything that can stimulate that productiveness, that creativeness in people, because once we get into the routine, the daily routine loop, it's very difficult to go back to creativeness. And I also use products for releasing the stress on the five senses. So anything related with, you know, aromatherapy, natural candles, anything that'd be helpful to really calm down those stress levels and slow down the brain waves is basically in that box. And I've been really enthusiastic and quite humbled how an idea for my team expanded into kind of a global movement, and people are really happy and people are using that box, and it's helping a lot with those deep depressions, with suicidal thoughts, with anxiety, with even first level stage of stress. You know, you need to be able to capture it before it escalates to really bad disease.
I agree with you 100%, and I love what you do. I do work for the Department of Mental Health, so I really love what you do, and I was big in psychology when I was in nursing school. I really enjoyed the concepts, even of Freud, you know. I think that there's really not enough help out there, and I think that a lot of people really feel that they're the only one, you know, that it's only happening to them, and they feel very unique in those feelings, and a lot of times maybe scared to come forward and really talk to someone because society labels people. And I think that's really unfortunate, you know. So I'm such a big fan of what you're doing. I can't even tell you. And I really, really do encompass self-talk and reaffirming positive self-talk on a day-to-day basis. Even on my own personal journey, I know that it made such a difference when I started saying, yes, I can, and seeing what I wanted to see as my future, and instead of just sitting where I was stuck. You know, it helped me move past that and really create my own bridge. So now you're helping other people see that in themselves. And I think that's amazing, you know?
Exactly. Yes. The reason why I made the product as a subscription box was mainly because I wanted, I'm the type of person that really likes and treasure my freedom, my flexibility, my own time. And as you said, I find it very unique the way that I'm structuring my life to myself and my needs. So that was one of the reasons why I made it as a subscription box. So imagine basically having this box delivered to your door, and you can use it whenever you want. You can use it as much as you want. You can use it, you can start and you can stop. You know, there is no obligations unless you want, you know. There is no scheduled calls and therapy sessions. There is no overpriced, extremely expensive products that you need to buy in order to get to the next level, and so on. And that was very important for me. It was incredibly important because when I came up with that idea, people were losing their jobs left, right, and center. And let's be honest, now it's not getting better. You know, we live in time where everything is extremely insecure, and financial markets are crashing. financial stability and economy of countries are going up and down like a Christmas tree, literally. And this product for me is the one thing that it's going to be always affordable. It's always going to be there for people that need to sit down, really be honest with themselves, without judgment, without expectations, without set rules, without limitations. And it will be based on their time frame. You know, if my schedule is available in the morning and then I go out and I surf the entire day to my job and my family and my friends, I want to be able to use my morning the way that I want. And that's why I'm providing that product in the way that it is, basically. I think one of the most important things that my box is teaching and allowing people to understand and accept is that accountability and responsibility, that you manage your own response. You manage the way that you react to the world. And we need to stop outsourcing everything that is so important to us to external events. So by understanding your limits and your ups and downs, you can easily manage those expectations for yourself in the future. So imagine if you wake up in the worst possible mood in the morning because you had a nightmare, for example, and exactly that day you receive a gift from a friend, and the gift is something that you wanted for so long, and it's like the most exciting thing you can ever receive. But because you woke up in such a bad emotional condition, you can't enjoy the gift that you're receiving, and it doesn't affect you, which basically means that you are outsourcing your emotional state to external events. External event is the dream, and external event is the gift.
I love that.
And you start feeling guilty that you're not enjoying the gift that you wanted so much, and your friends are making a big gesture to give it to you. You start feeling shameful that you are actually giving yourself to the bad dream, and you're having a nightmare of a day, because we've all been there. And so by journaling all those things, and by digging deeper and asking yourself questions and really being real with your questions and answers, because that's your journal, that's your safe place, it's basically allowing you, if that happens to you tomorrow again, you know what you did that you don't want to do, and you can actually experiment and react in a different way. So when you wake up in the morning and you had a bad dream, you can be like, yowza, you know, I did not see that coming, but that's not going to ruin my day, because I know myself and I have a balanced emotional state. So no matter what happens to me today, I'm not going to outsource, very important thing to me, my emotional state, and I'm going to enjoy everything that's happening without being up and down in emotional reactions. Everything, same way goes with, you know, having a good morning, but then going to work and someone pushing your buttons, and it's making you angry, it's making you frustrated, and then the rest of your day goes in really down the hole because of that one situation. But if you go back to your journal and you ask yourself, why was I affected by that situation with my colleague? You know, what did actually cause me? How can I react in a different way the next time? Did it affect me and my way of living, or did it affect my ego, you know, and the fact that that colleague disagreed with my idea or the way I'm doing things and so on. And the more you're starting doing that, it becomes a big part of your life, because it does require work, and it does require
A lot of work.
Exactly. It requires consistency, and it requires for you to exercise your will, and it requires to be, you know, specific, and not to be afraid to ask yourself those questions and experiment with what you're seeing in front of yourself. And it becomes a lifestyle at some point, and it will naturally be your way of behaving and living. Every time when something happens to you that is outside of your normal balance situations, you'll be like, oh, well, let me think about that, and how do I want to respond, and how do I want to act, and this is really priceless. because
I definitely see where you're going with this, and I really appreciate it. I do journal every day, and I try to be the master of my own mind, but sometimes that negativity still draws me in, and I remember to start my day over. I was one of those people that did outsource, and how other people were feeling or their emotions directly impacted my day, so I do know what that's like, and it wasn't pretty. It was, like, for a long time, I dressed myself up on the outside because I wasn't feeling good on the inside. So that's a little bit of reverse of that, rather than look deep and see what was really going on inside. And I think what you're doing is very appealing price wise too. And I've heard some different opinions about that. Sometimes people say, like, I'm all about giving people things that makes it accessible to them. But a lot of people have even commented to me that I give too much. I tell them the how, or I'm giving things away, and people don't respect that. That I'm not giving them room to give back. I mean, I've heard a lot of different opinions that by keeping your prices low, you're devaluing what you're doing. And you have to kind of make your own assessments then. I mean, being a nurse for so long, I don't think that healthcare should come as such a cost. I'm moving away because it has become such a business. That's kind of why I'm showing up here online, because I believe what you believe, that it should really be affordable to everyone. But a lot of people say, there are a lot of people showing up charging ridiculous prices for what I'm doing too. So when I look at what they're doing, I can have my own opinions too. So I think we have to find our own balance. What are your thoughts on that?
So unfortunately, we have become a society of heavy consumers, and we define ourselves with material prices and needs. And this is really sad to see. I don't think you can put a price on emotional health. I don't think you can put a price on how you feel, how you think, how you live, right? I personally don't measure my life with the type of a house that I have. I don't measure my life with the type of a car I have. But the way that society works today, the more material stuff you have, the higher quality of life you have. But if you're dead deep inside, that doesn't really matter. And I'm all about the opposite, right? If you feel good, you look good. But if you think good, you're unstoppable. You become great and greater every day. And this is what's important for me.
Women.
Exactly.
I love that. So I want to just segue a little bit to the book that we're doing. I want to know how you came about to really becoming this author, because now, like, it's a reality for us. I used to love writing as a kid. I really never saw myself doing this. Now, this stage of my life, what was it like for you to start on that journey?
I've always been very impressed by authors. For me, that level of imagination and that ability to express yourself in that way is just high level mastery. So when I got in touch with the publishers and all the women behind that book, when I heard the idea, the name itself and everything, it just spoke to me. I'm a big believer in that, women can do so much more than just what we're doing. We are mothers, we are daughters, we're sisters, we're neighbors, we are emotionally so much stronger than men. And I'm sorry, men, but that's a fact. It is a fact.
I'm going to keep quiet.
We are easily adjustable. We are so much more flexible. We are so much more stronger when it comes down to, trauma situations, when it comes down to extreme unbalance and insecurity in times. And you know, the phrase behind every successful man, there is a woman. There is a reason
Absolutely.
why. Exactly. There is a reason why. And when I got invited into that book, I felt an incredible honor to be able to use my voice and share what my thoughts are about that. And, you know, be able to tell other women around the world, if I can do it, anyone can do it. Like, I'm coming from a small Eastern European country, and you know where I'm coming from, it's a very traditional way of living. Family values are very, very big in there. And you know, for example, as a woman, I'm not expected to work in a car garage, for example. I'm not expected to be a pilot, for example. Um, I'm not expected to be a psychologist either, because this is not a place for women. And if we look in history, all famous names are men: Carl Jung, Sigmund Freud, you know, and so on and so on. So breaking that status quo for me and breaking that glass ceiling for me was basically, if I can do it, coming from that environment, anyone can do it. And you have to overcome one obstacle, and that's you. No one is putting the knife on your throat and what you need to do and how you need to do it. It's how much you are going to put others' expectations on you. And this is basically, thanks to my big love for psychology, I understood that at very early age, and I've decided that I am what's most important. And other people's expectations, opinions, ways of living, you know, material possessions and so on, it's not real for me. What's real for me is my feelings, my thoughts, my dreams, my tears, my struggles, my ways of living. And so I don't define myself with what I see on social media. I define myself with the way I'm waking up every morning, with the way how satisfied I feel with my life, with all the excitements and the blessings I have in my life. And this book for me is all about that. You know, it's a practical guide for women out there, how we've done it and how they can do it as well. This is basically black and white, how we did it as women across the world, and with different backgrounds and cultural stories. So they can use our example and adjust it to their own needs, and really, really just break those rules and get out of that box.
I love that I love that it's global. And I had some health issues, much like the woman who started this, over the course of my life. I didn't go into a lot of them, like she so valiantly shows up every day. But I love that despite what's going on in her life, because we both know that she's terminal, she's decided to live the best quality life that she can, and live her dreams and live today and just be unstoppable. And I love that about her. And that's kind of what drew me into it, and that she's helping women become more supportive. Growing up, sometimes women could be catty when we were children growing up and stuff like that. And I love that this book really is about women breaking past egos and barriers and helping one another, supporting each other, and really lifting one another up. I love that, so, and that you can really be, it doesn't really matter where you came from. There's no limits except for the ones we impose on ourselves, and even when I said I'm going to do this, I second guessed myself. I said, can I really do this? I don't know. And now that it's like behind me and I'm on to the second one, I'm like, uh-oh, here we go again. Those fears come up. I think it's natural that fears come up when we're faced with new challenges, and people put expectations on us, but we have to really separate ourselves, and it's really our own expectations of ourselves. And we really don't know what we are capable of until we challenge those limits that we set for ourselves. And this book is like it's so inspirational, and I really think this is going to help those young girls that feel like, their life has not been what it should be, and that's going to impose how they can show up in the future. So I'm really hoping that this reaches so many more women. And I really don't think Hannah and her daughter are done. I think they're just gonna, I don't think there's anybody standing in their way or stopping them. I follow her and her daughter because they're inspirational for me. And every time I see something, they're on to new and better. They have a TV show coming up, they have the podcast, they have magazines. Now they've become a publishing company. So kudos to them, because I just think it's amazing what they're doing. And it gives me feelings of hope for our generation after everything that we've gone through over the last 2 years, to see people coming out and really challenging themselves and stepping into different positions. We have a lot of people walking away from their jobs and becoming entrepreneurs and business owners. You and I was talking earlier about coaching, that sometimes people's concept of what a coach really is really they have low expectations, because so many people are showing up online today as coaches, and I think that it's given a really bad rap. I told you that as a nurse, we mentor new nurses all the time. In nutrition, I've always been that mentor and that coach in my family and my friends. I'm sure that you have always been able to help people with sadness and depression and really reflection, because that's a lot of what you do. And I think those years of experience and our life's experience, no matter what we label it, whether it's coach or nurse or psychologist or author, that has value. And I don't think enough people really see the value in someone who's gotten through something before you, helping you on that journey to make you make that transition more smoothly.
Yeah. Totally agree with you. Unfortunately, we as humans are very quick to, put a label on something and start judging someone. But this is really just, it just equals our own insecurity as humans again. And as you said, Hannah and her daughter, they're really leaving a legacy in history. The way that they're building their lives and they're helping women come together across the world. I mean, you are in the States, I'm in United Kingdom, and we're having this incredible conversation, and we're meeting each other and talking about what we're doing, and getting really excited about those things. And then if we remove all the labels about, coaches, psychologists, mentors, and so on, the fact is that people like you and me are people who have discovered something in ourselves, and we have taken on the difficult path to pave it for other people, right? I mean, this is what we do. We have been through that path ourselves in order to find out actually how it works and what it works. And people will judge always, probably, and they will always put labels on it. But again, to have balance, you need to have those labels and judgment to be able to actually understand yourself that you're judging, and switch to actually enjoying and be curious rather than judging. There was a very interesting saying from a famous psychologist, and he basically said that balance is what we are all searching for. And in order for us to be healthy, there have to be sickness, so we can define ourselves as healthy. In order for us to be wealthy, there have to be poor people across, so we can define ourselves as wealthy. So we really need the two polar sides of those things. And then it's up to us as a choice, and as a conscious choice, to make a decision which one we want to accept and which one we want to focus on. And I think this is what, you and I have discovered, and this is what we want to spread across the world as a word. You know, you always have those two things as opposites. They will exist forever. But you as a conscious being, you can choose which one you're gonna pick and which one you're gonna
Love
focus
that.
on.
And it is so much about choices. I love everything that you stand for. I'm really excited about seeing you in upcoming book tours and things like that. And staying in touch with all the authors. I met so many amazing women when we were on tour. I want people here to know how they can get in touch with you. So I want to give you a few minutes to really tell them where you are, what's the best way to contact you. Of course, I'm going to drop your links and they'll remain on my pages, because I think what you're doing is amazing. And I think that the more that we put ourselves out there and we show up for ourselves and show other people by really living that life that we're trying to show others, do you know what I mean? To be the example that we want others to see, you know, that it is reachable, it is attainable. I think that the more that we'll have more positivity in the world in front of us. You know, I'm looking forward to that in our future generations to have something like that. So I can't thank you enough. So go ahead, tell them where they could reach you.
So excited. You can reach me everywhere. You can find me on Facebook. My name there is Yana Yan. It's a long story about that name. Or if you go to pandorasoul.com, you can email me there. You can read all about me. If you have any questions, you can find me on LinkedIn, on Instagram. Everything is basically called Pandora Soul. And I would just like to say, I cannot wait to see that book, you know, complete, and to hold the book in my hands and to admire all the stories in there and get inspired.
A little plug for Hannah.
Look at that.
This was one of the first, Becoming an Unstoppable Women, 25 strategies to help you achieve the unstoppable mindset. I love, you know, a lot of the women have been in multiple books, and I'm loving reading and getting to know. I feel so connected to them through these pages. I can't even tell you. So I'm sorry I interrupted. Is there anything else you wanted to share with us today?
I just would like to tell to anyone who's listening or is going to listen at some point this video, don't put yourself in a box of expectations. Live every day with curiosity and passion, and just see where that's going to take you. And don't be afraid to experiment and to look deep in yourself. You know, you'll be surprised how much power, strength, and treasure there is in there.
That's beautiful. All right, guys, we're going to pop out. I hope you're having a great day. I enjoyed having Yana here so much, and I know that she's inspirational to so many people. So I'm going to drop her links, and anybody that wants to get in touch with her, you'll be able to do that. Have a great day, everybody. And as always, to your health. Let me shut off the live. Okay.